Hello, everybody. This is Trina Gunzel, and welcome to the Legacy and Legends podcast. We're doing a fun ocean theme where we are amplifying abundance and featuring some special guests for Women's History Month. I am so excited to bring you this guest today. It is my absolute privilege and honor to have the most amazing woman who has had the biggest influence in my life, my mother. So this is going to be a very special episode. I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. And Mom, would you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Well, good morning, good afternoon, one and all. My name is Mary Jo Licavoli, and yes, I am the proud mother of Trina Licavoli Gunzel. She is the first of my girls, the second of my children of six. And, she invited me to do this today, and I am not a public person. I am certainly not a public speaker, but here I am. So hope we have a good time today.
Absolutely. And you earned a heart for that, Mom. I always try to share if people do special things, step outside their comfort zone. You can spoil yourself with something after, Mom, to relax and enjoy. It's going to be fun. Okay. So I always ask some just sweet questions in the beginning. People like to get to know you, and believe it or not, as a mompreneur, you are the mama of the most kids who's ever been on the show. So that's a big deal. And just for fun, I know that you kind of raised me loving movies. And so that was just a fun thing we do, have popcorn and movie night. So what's your favorite movie, Mom?
This is a real problem because I was just telling Dad yesterday, the kind of movies that I enjoy are not the kind of movies that I would share with my children.
She's a diva behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't talk about it, but this is where I get my wild side.
I am a Netflix. What do you call Netflix fiend? Yeah, there you go. I mean, I follow them, the murder mysteries, the British, they're awesome. I really enjoyed most recently, though, The King's Speech.
Oh, cool.
I watched that on Netflix, but certainly when my kids were little, it was a whole different environment. I mean, we watched Land Before Time. We watched The Littlest Princess. What was the one with the
What's that? The Never Ending Story? We were just talking about that as a family.
Girl that was a mermaid.
The Little Mermaid?
Yeah. And then I can't remember all the names, but I used to record, if I saw something that the kids really enjoyed, I'd go ahead and record it so that they could watch it again. I don't know that I had a favorite. I can't honestly say that I had
so many. That's okay. You can text me one of the ones you recommend later, Mom.
I don't want to plug Netflix, so I have to be careful.
It's totally fine. Okay. And what about, a lot of people just like to learn about different cultures and foods. Do you have a favorite food?
Oh, wow. That's another one. I mean, being married to Dad, it's quite an experience. I mean, I get exposed to so many marvelous recipes. I love his the Asian stir fry, with the shrimp or the Mongolian beef. My favorite, oh geez. No, as a dessert, does that qualify?
Heck yeah, dessert counts.
My mother used to make the best. Now we called them ravioli. And some of the Italians, they call it, is it cadudesti? It was like a half moon shaped pastry made of biscotti dough, and it was filled with ricotta cheese and nutmeg, cinnamon, sugar, and then that mixture, once you put it together, rolled it and sealed it, you deep fried it or fried it in corn oil. Oh my, and sprinkled it with powdered sugar. I loved that.
That sounds amazing. That sounds like one time you and Dad came over and he made something homemade like that. It sounded real familiar with like little like squash type raviolis, but I'm gonna have to try that. Maybe Abby will help me this afternoon. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was delicious.
Yum. Okay, well maybe that'll be my new favorite food too. And what about mom? I don't know. I would really love to know because I don't remember you taught me to read and you would read a lot of books to me. But as far as a favorite book that's impacted your life, do you have a book that you would pick?
Oh, wow. Grandmas are gorgeous.
Oh, oh, here, ladies and gentlemen, did I give my last copy away? Hold on. I was going to see if I had a copy to pull out to show because you are the inspiration for that book. Oh, all right, I'm gonna have to pull out another copy, Mom.
Yeah. I,
What's your favorite book? You're so cute.
when the kids were little, I had subscribed to the whole Disney series.
Yes.
And,
Hmm.
so we would just go one right after another and
Yes.
read them all, and the kids,
Hmm.
they never really had a favorite and I didn't either. I think it's probably because I appreciate talent. I appreciate the talent. And so it's very hard to narrow it down to one single thing that really made an impression on me.
Yeah.
Um, it's just not there. I just love it all.
That's awesome. Well, and I was trying to see, I had literally just given away. I go through and I'll like give away books or pull them off a shelf because I usually have them. But you were the inspiration for Grandmas Are Gorgeous. That was my first children's book I ever published. And so much of that I wanted to capture like the beauty that to me is my mom. And there were things in there to honor John's mom and our grandmas too. But you are just a beautiful inside and out. And I love that you gave me the gift of wanting to read and learning and really loving books. I think that's part of when I was a kid. You actually helped me believe I could be an author. Like you believed in my stories and you helped me, you submitted my first book. And even though for me it was hard to get like a rejection letter from random, I mean, I was a kid, right? Third grade. I didn't know people hardly ever get picked first try a random,
Yeah.
house books, but you sent it in and it was like, maybe this is possible.
Yeah.
Like,
What was that? The house or something?
yeah, that book, I still have it. It's called Trapped in a House Where No One Cares.
Yes.
And
That
that
was,
should be a movie. I've seen movies like that since, and that book was pretty intense for my age, but I look at that, I'm like, I still want to turn this into a fictional novel.
you need to.
Yeah.
That would probably be one of my favorites because it was written by you, and I still have the typed copy. You wrote it, I typed it, and I still have that in the file cabinet. They're
Oh
treasure.
my gosh. Okay, so we'll have to, if we type it up in digital form, then maybe I can add to it because I would love to publish that. And it's just one of those things where like you never know, you have these little seed starters as a book, but that helped me know that I can make things happen. Like I wasn't afraid to put my stuff out there and learning now, I've had friends who tell me they're like, hey, if you want to get a book published, start sending it to publishers. And before you finish papering your walls in an entire room with rejection letters, you will get published. And since then, like I have 5 published books out now. I've been published with Scholastic Instructor, and they would pay me to write, articles. It's a lot of fun, but just thank you because you planted that seed for me that it was possible and you believed in my dreams. And that's why, like for me, I feel very loved. I'm super confident. I put out ideas and I know people are going to love them. And I know that's because you guys loved me so much as a kid at home. And I just felt like, who wouldn't love me? I'm amazing.
You know what? It's easy. It was easy to love my children. Oh my gosh. And you, little Missy Payson, you were such a treasure. You are such a treasure. But
Thanks, Mom.
when we talk about reading material, one
Yeah.
of the things that I've learned in growing up into an adult is that variety is the spice. And so I haven't limited myself to any one particular style.
Mhm.
I've exposed myself to a lot of different types of
Yeah.
writing, and some maybe I wish I hadn't been exposed to, but they're colorful
Yeah.
and they uh, let you see into other people's lifestyles, things that
Sure.
you not otherwise be exposed to or even want to expose yourself to. But we're listening to books on tape right now. We've Dad and I have moved from the reading material because of the eyes to the
Yes.
material, the audio books. and I absolutely love them. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, we're kind of more into the murder mysteries right now, but you kind of do that, migrate away from, once your children are grown and you've gotten away from Peter Pan and Robin Hood and The Littlest Mermaid and stuff like that. Although I do love them. In fact, if my grandchildren are around, I've been known to lay on the bed and put on one of those movies that are a
Yeah,
children's movie and enjoyed every bit of it. So
for sure. Well, that's the thing, right? If you can learn from anyone, anywhere, that opens your mind to be able to always be learning. And I really learned that too in our travels and just different things we've studied and looked. It's like there's always some little nugget in there. And if you can have an open mind to know you really can learn from anyone, anywhere, then yeah, you're not limited on anything. You're not limited in books or movies or people you meet. And there's just so many amazing things. So that's a really good tip just to help people,
yeah,
right?
we are not the only kinds of people in the world. Broaden your horizons, get to know
That's
who
right.
you are. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And mom, what has been your work and educational history journey to this point? Because you're at a point where you're finally retired. I mean, a lot of people watch this podcast because they want to learn about different career options. They might be curious about starting their own business, or they're a young entrepreneur with a family wanting to know, is that possible to work with your spouse? Could you talk to us a little bit about that, your work and educational history to this point?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, just for starters, just realize that you should not limit yourself. I mean, all things are possible. Uh, you just make up your mind to do something and go for it.
Yeah.
Um, you, you have to be willing to take chances.
Mhm.
Um, you have to not be downtrodden or browbeaten because maybe you didn't succeed at something. Uh,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to strive forward. Growing up, I never knew for sure what it was that I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. I mean, I played piano most of my young life. I was taking lessons. And so typing turned out to be one of my stronger skills. And so
Yeah.
in school, I had the typing, and then along with the typing, I picked up the bookkeeping. Mind you, though, I was one of those people that when we were exposed to a typing test, I would
Mhm.
have a nervous breakdown. I'd go
Oh,
have
wow.
the floor in the hallway with the shakes because
Mm,
I was so fearful.
yeah.
Taking tests, same thing. I mean,
Mm,
I'd be a nervous wreck. I know these answers, but I would draw a blank. And math was never my strong suit. It was something I always struggled with. But I worked my way through, and
mhm.
um, jobs mostly were secretarial, when I got out of school, and they did involve the typing and answering the telephone. And then I worked with, I should say, with my husband,
Mhm.
starting in 1977. He was a
Yeah.
real estate appraiser, and so my typing skills came into play there, and
Mhm.
telephone and going out in public with him and talking to people. And then when he was crushed under a tractor and we thought we were going to lose our uh, health insurance, and we had 6 children at home, it was like, oh my gosh, we cannot lose
Right.
our health insurance. Something has to be done. And
Mhm.
I can quite honestly, I don't know how I found out about the job at the school. Maybe I just went down and inquired about it, but they had a job opening at the front counter for a clerk, just somebody
Yeah.
to the telephones and take attendance and that type of stuff. And I got hired,
Mm,
which was interesting in itself. And
sure.
my husband didn't really mind that, it was close by, and the kids went to school there. So I got to be there in the environment with the kids. Of course, I still typed appraisals when we were at home. And
Right.
as I was there, I got initiated into other things like the nurse. Okay. So
Mhm.
you had to do some nursing, although I wasn't a nurse, but you'd have
Mhm.
kids come in and, the bloody noses and
Right.
run the fever or whatever. And so I started getting initiated into that type of thing. And then also too, we had the business manager there, and
Mhm.
she could see that, I was willing to try new things. And so she started introducing me to her bookkeeping and the codes, and
Mhm.
started handing me the bills. You can code these, and then she'd give me the list of various codes. And so I started doing that with her. And then before you knew it, she was
Mm.
introducing me to her computer, and uh, showing me different ways to look at the accounts payable and the bills that the school would receive. And little by little, so I kind of got, at that point, I didn't even know anything about a computer. Well,
Right.
lo and behold, this woman decides to leave.
Right.
She's going through a midlife crisis. She quits. And here they had no business manager.
Mm.
And you believe it? Our principal came to me and said, we'd like you to try this job.
Yeah.
Try this job. I'm not a business manager. I don't know anything
You
about
are
it.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a computer. I don't know anything. I have faith in you. Sue Meyer,
Wow.
she had faith in me. So there it
Mhm.
went. It was one of those fire, what did they say? Trial by fire,
Yeah.
learn as you go. And
Yep.
so they did away with that accounting program, and the computer, that great big monster of a computer that I was used to running, gone. Everything was gone.
Mm.
We had to start from scratch. And
Wow.
it was myself and my guardian angels.
Yeah.
With me every single day for those 24 years that I was there. And over that whole period of time, I was forced to learn and do
Mhm.
and go for training. And my husband hated it. He did not
Mm.
want me going for those trainings, taking the car and having to go out of town to Holbrook or Winslow.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
I had to go on the weekends, and occasionally it was an overnight. And I can't tell you how many times I
Mm.
would leave that driveway with my coffee in the cup holder and tears
Mm.
running down my eyes, because maybe we'd had our words before I left the house, but
Mm.
I knew, I was on this path. And you know I was being acknowledged for my ability to be able to learn and grow and do. And that really made an impact on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I not only was I a wife and a mother and somebody who was loved, but I was also somebody that could be visible outside of myself.
Mm.
It forced me to learn, and I found that I even though I was a C student, even though I wasn't a good learner, I
Yeah.
was hungry for it.
Mhm.
And so, I pursued that, and it was not easy. It was,
Sure.
but I grew in the job. My kids grew with the job. My husband learned how to be more independent of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of good for everybody. And I to this day I say thank God, because people would come into that office and they would look around, because I was doing all of this by myself, which right now they're trying to do that job with 3 people, and the auditors are saying
Wow.
no. This small school is spending too much money. One person
Yeah.
should be able to do the job. Well, yeah, you can do the job, but I mean, it takes 150% of who you are.
Yeah.
You kids can all attest to that. Um, but where was I going with that? The the hours involved. Oh, I was very grateful, because after putting in that time, we
Mhm.
have a retirement. We have
Yeah.
our social security. We have our pension plan. And thank God, because it's not a lot, but we are comfortable. We're not rich.
Right.
And you can see by this environment here that we have a modest lifestyle, but it's comfortable. And it was made possible by my family's faith and trust in me, and the people that I worked with, their faith, trust, and support, my dedication to be willing to do a job to the best and beyond the best of my ability in a
Yeah.
I didn't know it to learn what I didn't know. And oh, I know, like I was going to tell you, I always had the holy cards in my office
Hmm.
up on the wall or taped to my computer of the Blessed Mother and the angels and the saints and Jesus. And I'll tell you what, people would say, how do you do it in here? And I would say,
Hmm.
I don't do any of this alone.
That's right. Oh, it's beautiful, Mom. And I love that this podcast episode is right before Easter too, because I can't even see in the reflection of your mirror, like you have a picture of the cross. And I know for me, that was a big deal growing up. Like in our home, we always had the cross. We always had the crucifix. Anyone who comes to my house, there's crosses up. And it's for me, no matter what things I went through in my life, and we all have trials and challenges and struggles, it's like when you think it's hard and you look at the cross and it reminds you what Jesus went through for you, you go, okay, whatever I'm going through is not that hard. Like he made the way for us to go to heaven and he opened the doors for everybody and he did the work so we could be saved. And so part of my message in this podcast too is inspiring people so they know they're not alone. And no matter what they go through, there is light at the end, and this, the struggles and challenges that we go through. And I know we have family right now that's going through some hard things too. Just that they know on the other side, there is peace and there is comfort. And, for me, you and Dad having the family business growing up, it was really interesting for me to get to hear how you helped Dad with that, because it helps me realize a lot of my social, the going out and networking with people and making friends. And I have all those memories of before Dad's accident, like before I was like 13 when that happened, that it was very social. We always had people over. You guys were in the bowling league. He was in the Lions Club and golf tournaments. And we were very social. We were at every church event. And, it wasn't just a church event. Like Dad was grilling steaks for everyone. And all of us kids were the waiters and waitresses. And you were always helping, right? With teaching our catechism class. And I just love that you guys cultivated the community. It wasn't just a business. It was really a family business. And you trained us in customer service to answer the phones and we were able to take notes. And I just remember you and Dad, like all hours of the night clicking. I just remember that, like sound at the computer and you guys being like, okay, kids, have your bags packed because the second we're done with this computer, we are heading to Mexico, right? Like we're going to Rocky Point. And that stuck with me because, when John, he always wanted that, when he met our family, it was like, his dad was away at work all day, right? He didn't get to see him. He heard boots on the ground in the morning and then he usually didn't see him at night. And he saw you and Dad working together and how happy I was. And, he was at our games and Dad was a coach and you were always there and cooking. And it was like, wanted that for our family. So when he wanted the entrepreneurial route, I was kind of like, I don't know, like, I want to go and have that set paycheck. And, but as an entrepreneur, like you do get more time with your family. Like that's how we've gotten to travel. And after Wyatt was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I couldn't do the traditional teaching anymore. And to be able to go, we were up late last night and low blood sugar and not have to work today or to take one client call. You guys showed me that was possible. And I want to really appreciate both of your efforts because as I went through my own challenges and my entrepreneurial journey, to be able to hold on to that example and know that even with Dad's accident, like you guys didn't give up.
No.
And a lot of people give up on their marriage and they give up on
Be careful there, though. It takes two. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, you guys showed me like that love is magnified. Like you have 6 kids. You're the first person on the podcast with, I think one other one had 5, but with 6 kids, just that abundance of love. A lot of kids don't get to feel that or see it because they don't get to see their parents that much. So that was awesome. And I appreciate that. So
it's important too when you mentioned love and showing the love, because I did that at work and people remember.
Oh, you did? Yes, I would totally remember that. Yeah.
Get your hug today,
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. Hug, you can't go around touching and hugging everybody, but
Well, you know what's funny though, Mom? Your office, I've never seen a business manager like you were. Like I met a lot of business managers at different schools I worked with, and they were not like, you loved on people and you showed our like Italian family love in your office. And I remember people would just come by for a hug or just say hi, and you were so open door. Like, I think one of your gifts and talents, honestly, is customer service, because people forget how to show that love and compassion and empathy, especially when you're talking human resources or any kind of business where you work with the public. People aren't there just for a paycheck. And a lot of business managers, they're just a number. And those people, they write the paychecks, but you knew those people went through hard things. And I saw you help them in that journey. And so I love that you literally brought heart to business. That's important. Thanks, Mom. Okay. Of course you make me cry. I usually make my guests cry. Well, anyway, it's a good thing. So, Mom, what would you say? You mentioned some of these. Let's see. What would you say is one of your keys to expanding your reach and connecting with other influential leaders? Because you did this. I saw you in business, not only with working with Dad, but at school too. You created relationships and networked. You are a diva. I know you won't admit it, but you found ways to like get people to connect, and you still have relationships all over. How do you do that?
I reach out to it. Okay. It comes natural for me. Well, or maybe I do it on purpose. I don't know.
You know,
You reach out to people. I do this. Okay. I have
yeah,
this business, and we like to go out in public. We go to the casino occasionally.
okay,
And I make it a point to talk to people in the casino. I'm not there just to gamble, and stuff my money into a machine. I
sure,
walk around and I meet people and I introduce myself to people. You look people in the eye, you smile at them, and they
yeah,
smile back at you. Guess what? They're not just, somebody that is grubby and maybe they're living in a box and they found $1 and they decided to come in and spend it. Guess what? They're a human being. And so you talk to them, is it because they're the best dressed person in there, or they have the big wad of cash in their hand? No, it's just because you notice that they are a human being, and
yeah.
you look them in the face and they look back at you, and it's, guess what? That was an open door. You can
That's right.
you can introduce yourself to them. And I because of my age, it's getting harder and harder to
Yeah,
certain things like phone numbers and addresses and people's names.
sure.
But I make it a point, to the cocktail waitresses that come by, what is your name? Okay, get their name, make some kind of an association with something, so that
Mhm.
time, and maybe it's not the next time that you remember, but
Yeah,
you own that, so that maybe the third or fourth time that they come to you and ask you if you need anything, guess what? Olivia, sure, I'd love a coffee. Or the gal behind the counter, guess what? She's not just the cashier behind the counter. Um,
mhm.
she is a person and she has a name. Memorize that name. Guess what? That person is a 3-time cancer survivor. And how did
Mm,
you find that out? Because you talked to her more about that ticket that you cashed in.
yeah,
She's a person. She had a personal life. And guess what? Maybe you don't stand there for 5 months communicating, but you took the time to ask a particular question or share a tidbit about yourself. And names are important. Looking people in the eye important. Acknowledging them as a person and not just another something floating around on this earth.
mm.
Um,
Beautiful, beautiful, Mom. That is awesome. You literally have, and you explained it so eloquently, like that gift is customer service. You're amazing at remembering people's names, showing love. If more companies did that, if more families did that, that culture, like creating that love abundantly and remembering their name, right? Connecting that, that's a huge teachable skill set um that is how you make connections everywhere. So that's awesome. And what about mom? What message are you wanting to share through your work? Which now, if you look at is your work raising your family, is that your legacy? Is it what work you're continuing to do? It's kind of interesting to think about that from where you are now.
Never stop, never give up. Eh, there's, of course, we have nieces, some people are forced to stop, because of health conditions, things
Yeah.
may not allow them to be able to pursue. Uh,
Mhm.
I may have had dreams when I was younger. Circumstances change, and
Yeah.
so those dreams maybe have to be set aside or modified. But you know what? Make a different dream. Set a different goal. I've been through three customer service jobs since I've retired. I've enjoyed them immensely. I've learned a lot of new things. The last one I tried out for Teledoc. Um, I didn't make it quite. I got through the training program, but then I didn't physically get hired on, I guess because they felt because of my age and my retention that I wouldn't be a good fit. But you know what? That hasn't stopped me. I'm still applying for customer service jobs. I still have them coming to my email, and I look every day. And even though I'm not conscientiously looking for a job right now, I
Yeah.
know my future. And
Sure.
like this last couple of weeks, I've probably applied for 3 or 4 jobs, customer service, work
Yeah.
from home, um, because I do like to have a little spare money,
Sure.
here and there. And I got declined by Discover, for instance. That was one of those jobs I would have really liked to have, but so what? Oh well, that's just one more, and I'm on to
Yeah.
the next one. So
So are you open? Are you willing to learn something if I share something with you?
sure.
So in this part of my life, like the last 20 years, I've been a consultant, right? Even though my master's education and leadership, I do consulting, and I really have a gift for seeing people's talents and creating a custom consulting business for them. And with your skill set and the things you've accomplished, you could have your own customer service consulting business. And you don't have to be dependent on anyone because you don't need their benefits in retirement. You already have it. And you could do it as simple, mom, as starting a Facebook group where you name it like customer service consulting, or for and these are like moms who want to work from home because it is a skill, or business owners who want that because they're starting to grow their team. They don't know how to have customer service, so it's hard for them to add employees, right? Or just to keep and retain clients. But literally, if you just did a program where it would be like you teach it 1 hour once a week and you did it as customer consulting, customer service consulting, then they could pay you like $100 a person to go through your course, and you teach it an hour once a week. If you had 6 people enroll, that's $600. If you had 10 people enroll, and that's like just to start. Most of my clients get paid like 2,000 for their course as they go through, but whatever's the amount you want to make, your skill set and the amount of years you have, not only running the family business with dad, but because of what you were able to do as a business manager, that would really honor your skill set and your talents, and it would be fun to set that up. It doesn't take that much to do that, and it would just be a way. So if it's something, if you're looking at a way to work from home, um, I can absolutely teach you that because that's what I do. And you could just take this idea right here and go, just think about it. If that would be fun, because you would literally just work with people who want to learn that from you. And you just share like the things you did today, the learning their name, the things that that are easy for you to talk about.
Mhm.
That's what you could share.
You work at your own pace. See, that's
Yeah.
the catch right now with my husband
Yeah.
is in our situation here. I almost need to be able to work at my own pace and have that kind of freedom. But yeah, it's amazing because having worked for some of these companies and your chat groups,
Yeah.
hear the way these people kind of talk behind the backs of some of the
Mhm.
customers, and it's like, no,
Uh-uh.
Would you be saying that if those same people were sitting right there in front of you? You need
Mhm.
to fix you. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would probably, I'd enjoy that because
See?
I love
There
to
you
teach some of those people, I don't care if you're in fraud protection.
go. Right.
You still need to treat people like human beings.
That's right. And that's what's fun too, is you could always work for those companies. Say you enjoyed some of these companies, they hire you for consulting where you do like 1 hour of training for their employees on customer service. Because now you've worked on the back end of it and the front. So you have a lot to offer in that. And you can do it at your own pace, which is really awesome because you have the flexibility to travel. If you don't want to do a training that day, you don't. You set it up when you want to, and you create your life and your income based on your skill set.
Sounds like something Trina does.
That's right. That's what every day we like, yeah, this is what we do, teach people. So I think that would be awesome. And I know there's people I could refer to you because they're looking to do that. Customer service is the key to an effective business and client retention, which we have 100% client success rate. And that's pretty awesome because, yeah, I learned customer service from my mom. So awesome, Mom. So well, I guess we'll just pitch this for your future stuff. What could people expect if they were going to work with you, say as a customer service consultant? What do you bring to the table that you would be able to help them with?
Well, I think basically you heard it today. These are the steps. And actually, any good company that you go to work for
Yeah.
doing customer service, these are the things that they will teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have OneNote or notebook. I have got lists of things. This is what you do. This is how you talk. This is how you project yourself. Because it doesn't necessarily come natural to everybody. Just
Sure.
my children every week didn't come naturally to me. That's something I trained myself to do. Contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's what I would do. I would just share with those people what made me successful in doing the customer service for the short period of time that I did it.
Yeah.
I was acknowledged for my successful service with the customers. So I
That's
would
right.
pass that on to them, share that with them.
That's right. That's right. And like I said, too, all the work you did, like with dad, with the appraisal business and raising your kids, that is customer service. Having that buy-in of getting your kids to eat their dinner or clean their room or, follow the rules. That is customer. There's an art, right, to effective communication. So, what about,
Yeah, I was
well,
going to
go
go
ahead. So when you have your twin, you start saying this. Oh, there are some moms though and dads who listen to this who want to work from home, and you have actually been able to successfully get some of those because some people are excited and they want to be entrepreneurs, and other people are looking for just a way to work from home that they can. How did you end up finding some of these positions? Because you have been able to work remotely and landed some pretty cool positions. How did you go about finding those jobs to work remotely from home?
Well, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have the equipment
Mm-hmm.
able to do the job should you be
Yeah,
forced to have that job arrive.
sure.
Um, I'm kind of not a geek for technology, but I like technology.
Yeah.
I made sure before in the year that I was going to retire, in the year
Yep.
before that, I started making sure that I had the tools here at home that were going to make me content, more or less content in my retirement. And
Nice.
and John, that was awesome because I acquired this great, what was this 43-inch television?
Yeah.
You know, um, and so I made sure that I got that set up in this room, and I bought myself a commercial stand, to
Hmm.
put that television on. And then I've got another 43-inch TV over here that I use for my television, but it's also a smart TV. So it's internet capable and I use
Nice.
it as a computer monitor. I made sure that I had my external peripheral, just because you might need extra. I went out and I bought the headset. You never know, you might
Yeah.
gonna need a headset.
Yeah.
Got a foot pedal, just in case I get a job that needs transcribing. I've got
Yeah.
a pedal sitting over there in the closet, that I could use. Actually, I have two headsets. I've got the Logitech camera, just in case the job came up. Now, a lot of these jobs will provide you with the equipment, but if they don't, you have your own. And also you have equipment that you're comfortable with. Okay, so once I had all that set up,
Sure.
then I felt like I could go out and start doing the job search. And it took me a year. I mean, well, I had to put together my resume, which has been written many times, but make sure that you've got a resume. I searched out some of the sites that would tell you the things that you want to include in your resume, and if you're too verbal or too wordy, which I am, only blabber pencil. So I had to learn how to modify that.
Yeah.
Once I did that, then I started my internet search. And what are you searching for? What is it that you think you might be able to do?
Yep.
What kind of pay are you looking at? I mean, don't search out jobs that are going to pay $12 an hour unless you're willing to sell yourself for that kind of money. You determine what the minimums are that you're willing to take. You determine what your skill set is, and then you go out and you search that. And that's what it was. Google is my favorite search. I use that daily. And I look at many jobs. I mean, that was because when Dad was not well, he would do a lot of napping, and I would use that time to do that research. So, I mean, if you've got to be willing to put in the time, because the jobs aren't going to just come to you, and they're not going to land on your doorstep. You're going to have to research. You're going to have to go out and look at the websites, detail, apply for the jobs, sell yourself. No, not who you aren't, but who you know you can be.
That's right.
Who you're willing to become. And
that is awesome.
So I'm still doing that.
Mom, I got to tell you, you're talking like a high paying consultant to me. So I'm just saying you have mad skills, woman. And I just know all these new mamas, like I'm listening to your voice, and I'm in groups with like 60,000 women, and they're constantly asking, what can I do from home? What can I do from home while my kids are napping? And, from virtual assistants to providing customer service to helping them get their resumes ready, and teaching them how to apply for online jobs. That is a little skill set right there. That's pretty cool. So that mentoring, you've learned some really great things. And I just want to validate like your life's work, which is, being an amazing wife, being an amazing mom, overcoming massive challenges, and also navigating not only entrepreneurial life with your husband, but also working for someone else and getting retirement. And then now going, hey, I'm at home retired and I still want to go out and get a virtual job. So you landed many, and then all of this knowledge you have that you've been willing to share, there will be people who have their life changed just from listening to this episode. So I appreciate you taking the time, because it is Legacy and Legends for a reason, because you are passing on your legacy and your gift of knowledge and sharing your gifts and talents. So, biblically, right, we don't want to keep our talents and hide them under a basket. We're asked to get our talents and share them, and that puts more light in the world. So thank you for sharing this today. And I wanted, go for it.
And you've heard this many times, and I've tried to share this with all of my kids. Of course, there are some things that you can't forget. I mean, they're always going to be in the back of your mind or carry it on your heart. But, I've tried to raise my kids to carry a broom behind their back. And as they move forward in life, let that broom swish back and forth. Don't carry that dead baggage. Don't keep going back to the past and those memories and the things that hurt you and make life difficult, because life is difficult enough. Focus on today, focus on the future and how you can get there easier, better, and make it a better world for yourself and those around you.
That's beautiful, Mom. Thank you for sharing your heart. Like, I know I am strong and know who I am because you poured into me as a kid, and you, I'm getting all emotional today, but
Big hugs.
well, like, you let me know I was beautiful, and you taught me that. You taught me I was beautiful inside and out, and helped me shine and helped me do things that pushed me way outside my comfort zone as a kid, that I just appreciate so much now, because I'm able to go do big things. And like, I got to be featured as an international presenter at this amazing Eat, Play, Love retreat that this woman from South Africa featured me. And I was just surprised because she just loved my message on my heart. And you and Dad helped me know, like, I'm loved and I can do big things. And I've grown into my giant big hair, and it's been fun. Even thanks, Mom. Thank you. And one of the last things I love to leave people with is, do you have a quote that you would like to share to inspire our listeners? Like a quote you kind of hold on to that you'd want other people to know?
God is love. And the greatest commandment that he gave us is to love.
Yeah.
Love each other as you would love yourself.
That's right.
I'm sure I'm gonna hope run across somebody in my life that I'm not going to be able to love, but you have to approach it that way.
Yeah. So good. That's awesome. And then a last one. I've been working on this book for a long time, and I'm collecting all of these cool hashtags. Like someone makes a hashtag for something, you know what that means?
Sort of.
You're cool. Okay. So it's basically like, if you were going to make a hashtag to your younger self, like Sandra Kurkowski, she made a hashtag and it was be more. And not many people were using that. So when she used that hashtag, she started a movement. And one of her quotes, I have it right here. It's, "You were made uniquely and specifically. Stop trying to be like everyone else. Be yourself. You are amazing." And then she would do these quotes and put hashtag be more. So I want to write this book that is hashtag to my younger self. So it's all of these people are contributing. Like, if you would have got to go back and meet your younger self and give yourself a hashtag, what would it be that would have made your life easier or helped you in your journey?
Oh my gosh. You want just a short hashtag?
But yeah, and you can explain more. Like, I've had people think about this for a minute, and then they share a little story. It's whatever comes to you, inspires you.
Be confident.
Be confident.
Confidence in yourself. I didn't go to college because I was afraid to leave home.
Oh.
I was afraid to be out there on my own. But guess what? You're going to be on your own eventually anyway.
Yeah, right.
Your successes and failures, you have to, even though you embrace other people, you still have to trust in you. I would have gone to college. That would have been, I think it would have been neat, but don't set that as your limitation, because there's a lot of ways of meeting a goal. There's a lot of ways of meeting a goal. And you could have 3-4 different people trying to attain the same goal, but their path might not be the same, so you have to be strong. You got to be determined. What would I go back and tell myself? Be more careful. You could have got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to try what is good and right. And if you all, and something Dad has taught me too, is to trust your gut. You have 2 brains, one up here and one in your belly.
So true.
Trust your gut, because that a lot of times will guide you in the right direction.
Oh, so good. I love this. This was one of my favorite podcasts ever. And I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for blessing me, because honestly, with 6 kids in our house and how busy life was growing up, I feel like part of my people pleasing straight A kid trying to be a good girl was to get noticed and just get some time with you, because it was always so busy. Like, I loved our family, but I think this is the most just quiet one-to-one time I've ever got with you in my entire life. And I really appreciate it. So thank you, Mom, for taking the time. You are an amazing woman in history in your own way, and the ripple effect that you and Dad have had putting amazing kids in the world. They're all incredible in their own way and really good people. So thank you guys for setting the example that family matters and that your kids were a priority in your life, and you guys poured into us, and that's been a big example for John and I to pour into our kids and put more good in the world. So thank you for blessing us with your amazing experience and talents and love, and I can't wait to see you. I hope we get to come out in June.
God bless you, baby. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, always make time for your children. I mean, that, I'll get to you in a minute. If I have any regret, that would be one of them.
Oh, well, you can forgive yourself, Mom, because I appreciate that. And I know how busy it was, but every time we all got to spend with you was super special. So
thank you. Love my kids. Mwah.
Love you too. All right, everybody. I got super teary today. There's a lot going on in the background of just life, but I wanted to wrap up this Legacy and Legend series. Sorry. With my own personal hero, my mom. So thank you for this, Mom.
God bless you, baby. I love you.
I love you too.
Have a great day.
You too, Mom. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.